This is First Coast News on your side.
You're taking a live look here at the Nassau County Courthouse as we are on verdict watch. Right this minute, jurors are deliberating in the case against Kimberly Kessler for the murder of a Nassau County woman some 3.5 years ago. Thank you for being with us here at 12:30. I'm Katie Jeffries.
And I'm Lewis Turner. All right, here are the three big things you need to know right now as far as that trial is concerned. The morning's closing arguments wrapped up before 11. Jurors have been given the option of considering charges ranging up top at premeditated murder, down below to a manslaughter.
But one key piece of evidence remains missing. Police have not been able to find the remains of the victim, Jolene Cummings. She was last seen alive Mother's Day weekend of 2018. We do have live team coverage tracking the deliberations in this case. On your side's Leah Shields has been in court for the last 4 days of this trial.
And Leah, you know, about a half hour ago you were reporting this is going by so quickly that maybe we could hear something this afternoon, you think?
Yes, there's definitely a chance we could hear something this afternoon. Of course, it's somewhat speculation to say that, but this case has moved by so quickly. So the jury is deliberating, and of course we'll be on standby. We have Kaylee Tracy on standby as well on this verdict watch. But a lot of the talk around here is that it could be in just a few hours. And today, the closing argument's a completely different beast than what we've heard the last few days, because this is really when both sides get to tell a story. And up on the third floor, if you can imagine, just 2 rows of Jolene Cummings' family, including her mother, being comforted as the state's story went like this. They say that Kessler murdered Cummings and disposed of her body by cutting her up with an electric knife. The state's timeline begins April 30th, 2018, when they say Kessler's internet search history shows premeditation by searching phrases like coworker guilty of murder, missing person not found. The state says this was her way of planning what to do. May 11th, the day before Cummings disappeared, state says Cummings told Kessler that she was fake and that she didn't like her. The next day, the state broke down the case nearly hour by hour, describing Kessler as a person who had made up her mind to murder. And then over the next 2 days, when the salon was closed, cleaning up the mess. Then on May 16th, 4 days later, evidence shows an internet search on Kessler's phone for, quote, Jolene Cummings, no body, no crime.
Is it her that's using the phone? Who is she talking to? What is she watching? What is she listening to? Some murder mystery podcast, that sort of thing. I submit that anyone, any one of us, could have Google searches, web searches, cherry-picked from our phone or our computer, taken out of context.
She wasn't a concerned coworker searching for updates on the case. She was a murderer on the run.
So what is the motive, and where is Jolene Cummings' body? Well, the prosecution says we may never have those answers. However, that's not really up to the jury to have that information. All they have to decide is, did a crime happen and did the defendant do it? In Nassau County, Leah Shields, First Coast News, on your side.
All right, Leah, great information there. We'll check in with you as we need. And specifically, remember that app. Download it. You can follow along with what happened in court today. You can follow along from the trial from the very beginning. But most importantly, when a verdict is ready, we will send an alert directly to your phone so you're ready and raring to go and can have that.
Right now, a 10-year-old boy is fighting for his life, and his mother is badly hurt after a hit and run at a school bus stop. Police need your help to find the driver of this car suspected in the crash. Renata DiGregorio has more from the scene along Hyde Park Road.
Family of the 10-year-old boy and his mother seriously hurt in the hit and run here on Hyde Park Road have set up a GoFundMe. They say that the boy was hurt the worst, critically injured, and that his mother's collarbones were shattered. No update from JSO so far on efforts to find the person they say drove past a stopped school bus and hit the boy and his mother crossing the street. Police need your help. Take a good look at your screen right now. The suspected car is green and appears to have a garbage bag on the back driver's side window. The driver is described as a white woman with red hair. Police say she was seen driving south on Hyde Park Road toward Blanding and Wilson Boulevards around 3 p.m. Wednesday. There's a reward of up to $3,000 if you contact Crime Stoppers with a tip that helps to lead to an arrest. Renata DiGregorio in Jacksonville. First Coast News, on your side.
In St. Johns County, one person is dead after they were hit by a car. Sheriff's office says it happened around 7 o'clock on Palm Valley Road and Valley Circle. That's near the PGA Tour complex, to give you a landmark. No word yet, though, on that suspect. Now, if you know anything that can help police in these cases, please call Crime Stoppers at the number on your screen. You don't have to give your name, and you could be eligible for a cash reward.
Now, your most accurate forecast from the First Coast News weather team, sponsored by AC Designs.
Hey, good afternoon. Well, we are sitting in those about mid-60s across the area. Temperatures a little bit further south are just getting into those low 70s, but most of us are sitting right about where we should be this time of year. We should be in the upper 60s, so a few more degrees, over the next few hours we'll warm up just a few more degrees and get to where we should be. Here's what we look like for your visibilities. We're relatively quiet right now. I know we've been dealing with fog for the last several mornings. Today we do have a little bit of low-lying cloud cover still lingering into this afternoon, but mainly for our far western counties. Here we go for satellite and radar. Right now it's mostly quiet out there, and we should continue to keep this picture for the next couple of days. But let's kind of bring it big picture. When we look at the rest of the country, check out places like Utah, Wyoming, Colorado, portions of the Dakotas into Nebraska. They are expecting significant winter weather over the next couple of days as a pretty significant storm system comes through. The cold front that's bringing them that wintry weather, that's going to be in our area as we head towards the weekend, but we'll just get some rain from it.
Turning Ahmaud Arbery into a victim after the choices that he made does not reflect the reality of what brought Ahmaud Arbery to Satilla Shores in his khaki shorts with no socks to cover his long, dirty toenails.
Well, the lawyer who made those remarks during the trial of 3 men now convicted of murder, Ahmaud Arbery, has resigned from the National Criminal Defense College. Laura Hogue says she resigned because she disagrees with the direction that the guild is heading in. Hogue herself on the receiving end of intense criticism for those remarks she made. Do have a closer look at this now on our website, that is firstcoastnews.com. All right, in Duval County now, about 2 months, a little more, voters will go back to the polls. This will be a runoff election filling an empty seat on the Jacksonville City Council. But what do you know about the 2 candidates who have now advanced to the runoff and wanting to earn your vote? On your side's Haley Harrison followed up with both candidates who are going into that runoff.
Republican Nick Howland received about 36% of the vote. Democrat Tracy Polson topped him by less than 1%. The close race means February will be unpredictable. First Coast News asked each candidate how they're feeling after Tuesday and what the next 2 months of campaigning will look like before voters go back to cast their ballots once again. Polson says she's happy to have been the top vote getter and will continue having conversations with people around Jacksonville ahead of the runoff.
We've been holding town halls, we've been sending out mail and knocking on doors and having conversations with people, letting them know about who I am, that I'm a mental health professional, that I'm a mom of 5 adult children, that I love Jacksonville, and I want to push back against the lack of transparency that we've seen in City Council.
Howland says the surge of Republican voters who came out to precincts Tuesday gives him momentum going into the runoff.
The platform that I've laid down and my team has laid down appeal not only to the Republican Party, but also to Democrats. Democrats and NPAs and Republicans, we all want safer streets and communities. We all want to create more jobs, particularly middle-class jobs around manufacturing and logistics. And we all want a strategic plan for our city, a plan that will survive the changeovers in mayoral administrations and city councils.
The runoff election will be held on February 22nd, 2022. I'm Haley Harrison, First Coast News, on your side.
And we are always on your side with more information on these candidates. Just go to firstcoastnews.com. But if you need information on how and where to vote, if you need to register still, and where to find your polling place, we've got it all right there too.
Yesterday, 3 firefighters who died in the line of duty were honored at the Fallen Firefighter Memorial in Jacksonville. Captain Tom Barber, Lieutenant Mario Moya, and Engineer Michael Freeland were all added to that memorial wall. Now, Chief Keith Powers with JFRD says it is a place for those who died serving in the city, and they should be remembered forever. Freeland was even memorialized on the floor of the U.S. House in Washington.
He's an example of the best of America, a hero who dedicated his life to the service of others.
We did sit down with Michael Freeland's mother, who also called her son a hero. On your sides, Destiny McKeever shares a mother's heartbreak.
Michael was born, of course, to me, a single mom.
At 15 years old, Tarana Fietro says she became a teen mom. She thought life as she knew it was over.
For me to know that I was the mom of this young man, you know, not knowing who he really was.
That was until Tarana realized her son was a hero. He was clearly destined to be a fireman. As you can see from this photo, she says he had a servant's heart from the very beginning.
When you know that you have a precious gift, you have to share it. You know, you share it with those who you're able to share it with, and Mike was that person. He took an oath, you know, to do this, and this was something that I know it was right for him.
Freeland died in the line of duty November 11th. He was trying to save someone in a crash, but died from a spontaneous brain hemorrhage. His mother says she got the call after 2 o'clock in the morning, and it changed her life.
You know, part of my heart was broken and still is. But part of it is healed simply because of all of these amazing stories.
When they did the 21 gun salute.
In her home, Tarana is surrounded with memories of her son. She says at this moment it's more apparent why she needed him so early on in life.
My son always called me his angel. Always. He was like, Mom, you know, you're my angel. And then he'd make a little joke, you know, here or there. But, you know, he said it was meant for you to have me at such a young age. You know, our times, our life is numbered. There's a number. You know, there's a time that we have to all account for one day. And even though we weren't ready or prepared for it, you know, God said otherwise.
In Jacksonville, Destiny McKeever, First Coast News, on your side.
All right, we've been following the trial against Kimberly Kessler now. The jury is being called back in the room. We're being told they do have a verdict.
That's right, so let's listen back in.
Kessler, I've been advised that the verdict has been reached in your case. I'm going to bring you up here and give you the opportunity to participate and listen to the verdict. All right, but to do that, you again must not disrupt these proceedings.
Refuse.
Pardon?
No, thank you.
All right. Do you want to go back downstairs?
Yes.
All right, fair enough then. You can take her back. All right.
So for those of you just joining us, we are awaiting the verdict to be read here against Kimberly Kessler. She was brought in just a moment ago, and she said that she wanted to watch this from back downstairs. Looks like the jury is entering the room right now. We're going to continue watching here. Again, the verdict should be read here momentarily.
About the time, Leo reporting that 11 o'clock is when closing arguments ended. It's here at 12:48, so that is very quick.
Everybody, please have a seat. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You can identify who the foreperson was just by your number. Juror number 1 has the jury reached a verdict in both accounts?
Yes, sir.
All right, and have you tendered those to the bailiff?
Yes, sir.
Madam Clerk, will you please publish the verdicts?
In the Circuit Court of the 4th Judicial Circuit in Nassau County, Florida, case number 2018 CF 815, State of Florida versus Kimberly Kessler, aka Jennifer Marie Stivert. Verdict count 1, first-degree murder. We, the jury, found the defendant guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment. We found the defendant used or attempted to use a weapon during the commission of the offense. So say we all done at Yulee, Nassau County, Florida, found by the foreperson, number 1. In the Circuit Court of the 4th Judicial Circuit in for Nassau County, Florida, case number 2018 CF 373, State of Florida versus Kimberly Kessler, actually aka Jennifer Marie Stivert. Verdict count 1, grand theft auto. We, the jury, found the defendant guilty of theft as charged in the information. The property was stolen a motor vehicle. So say we all done at Yulee, Nassau County, Florida, found by the foreperson, number 1, December 9, 2021.
Do either side like the jury poll? Yes, sir, please. Madam Clerk.
Juror number 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 4, is this your verdict? Juror number 7, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 13, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 20, is this your verdict?
You can juror number 20.
Oh, yes. Juror number 21, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 31, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 37, is this your verdict?
It is.
Juror number 44, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 46, is this your verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 50, is this your verdict?
Yes.
And juror number 53, is this your verdict? Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to thank you for your time and consideration of this case. I also wish to advise you of some very special privileges enjoyed by jurors. No juror can ever be required to talk about the discussions that occurred in the jury room except by court order. For many centuries, our society has relied upon juries for consideration of difficult cases. We have recognized for hundreds of years that a jury's deliberations, discussions, and votes should remain their private affair as long as they wish it. Therefore, the law gives you a unique privilege not to speak about the jury's work. Although you are at liberty to speak with anyone about your deliberations, you are also at liberty to refuse to speak to anyone. A request to discuss either your verdict or your deliberations may come from those who are simply curious, from those who might seek to find fault with you, from the media, from the attorneys, or elsewhere. It will be up to you to decide whether to preserve your privacy as a juror. Now that's the concluding instruction that the Florida Supreme Court wants me to read to you, but I want to take just a minute to do my best to adequately express the court's appreciation for each and every one of you sacrificing for the last 2 weeks, essentially, to provide this service to your community. It is an awesome responsibility to be selected as a juror and then to deliberate and render a verdict. Each of you have done everything we ask of jurors. You have been here. You've all paid attention. You have viewed the evidence, deliberated, and rendered a verdict. And I don't know that I can adequately express our gratitude, but we are grateful here in the court system. I know I speak for all those involved and the attorneys as well, in our appreciation for your service this week. I said it before and I'll say it again, outside of voting and serving in the armed forces, I do not know of a more important service you provide to your community, because the right to a trial by jury, which is so fundamental to the founding of our country, is meaningless unless we have citizens like you who are willing to participate. I know that when you got the summons, you're like, oh my, I'm going to have to, probably one of the busiest times of the year, you got to come down here. You got to, you might be selected for a trial. And we're taking you away from a lot of things that are going on in your life. And then you find out it may be a week, almost 2 weeks worth of your time. But I hope after going through this process, it has been meaningful to you, that you see the hard work that everybody puts into putting on a trial in order to afford an individual the right to a trial by jury. And if you get a summons in the future, I hope each and every one of you are willing to come back and do what you've done this week. I don't know, Madam Clerk, do you have you already given the work slips? Do you have them? All right, so if you need any work slips, we have them. Deputy Jewell has them. If you need anything else besides that work slip and verify your attendance or whomever, please contact my office. I'll be happy to help you out in any way that I can. What's going to take place here is in a few minutes, I'm going to discharge you. I'm going to have you leave your notes in the chairs. They will be collected by the bailiffs, and I will make sure that your notes are destroyed. They're going to take you back to the deliberation room. You can gather all your personal items, and then the bailiffs are going to escort you to your car. And after that, you are released from my instructions on talking or about the case. You can refuse to talk. You can look at anything you want now. You can watch any news reports. You don't have to watch them. It's up to you. So now, we are heading into what's called the holiday season. I want to wish all of you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas. You celebrate Hanukkah, Happy Hanukkah. Celebrate Kwanzaa, Happy Kwanzaa. If you don't celebrate anything, just Happy Holidays. And I wish you all the best this season as well as in the coming new year. So with that, each of you are discharged. Thank you very much.
So there you have it. Kimberly Kessler found guilty of first-degree murder and found guilty of grand theft auto in the death of Jolene Cummings. Kind of some closure to a case now that began all the way back in May of 2018 when Jolene Cummings went missing on Mother's Day weekend. And if you were just tuning in, you got the push alert sent to your phone, your app, about the verdict. You came in just to hear the verdict. If you're wondering where's Kimberly Kessler, she was wheeled in. Mm-hmm. The judge said, "Are you going to?" He gave her the opportunity, every opportunity to be there to hear her verdict. She said, "No, thank you," and was reeled right back out. And that has been the case each and every day. Well, I mean, even going back to the pre-trials that we watched, and just a saga of wild activity that you would see in this. It took about 90 minutes for the jury. That's really, really fast, it seems. That is a very fast verdict. Because 11 o'clock is when closing arguments ended. 90 minutes, you got a verdict, guilty first-degree murder, as Katie mentioned. And the question, what happened to Jolene Cummings? Mm-hmm. All right, roughly answered, at least the jury, unanimously answering that she was in fact murdered. Although throughout all of this, while clearly a strong case according to this jury, every piece of evidence presented was circumstantial. There is still no body and still no murder weapon specific here in this case. So hopefully a little bit of closure for the family, of course, but you got to know in the back of their minds, they're wondering what actually happened to their daughter, to the mother. And maybe along as sentencing comes down, there will be peace of mind there as well. So. And her mother has spoken time to time to the media about how difficult this case has been. And we saw her mother there. It looked like she had people around her with their arms around her as that verdict was being read. It's just, you remember when this first happened, there was always, of course, what exactly happened? Where did she go? And then when you started finding out more and more about, initially, Jennifer Siebert, because that was the name we were first told, only to find out that was an alias for Kimberly Kessler, and then kind of seeing this case unfold over the last couple years. Today's finally the closure in that, a guilty verdict. All right, so of course, this is what we're going to cover all day long, top story, and we've got Leah Shields there, Kaylee Tracy,
covering this for us. And we'll have much more on firstcoastnews.com. And when you join us for First Coast News tonight at 5 o'clock as well. Michaela Lucero is with us, going to wrap up our noon hour with a look at what we can expect for our day and our weather forecast as we go through our day. Hello, Michaela.
Hey, Lou. Yeah, quick look at that 7-day forecast. Upper 70s today, cloudy skies heading into the weekend. We are going to get some sunshine with warmer temperatures, but a cold front comes through, bringing us some wet weather Saturday night into Sunday, and a big old cool off that's going to be with us for the majority of next week.
Well, thank you for joining us here for First Coast News at noon. Again, make sure you stay with us, especially for First Coast News at 5 o'clock. Our team there in Nassau County gathering more information after this guilty verdict here in the Kimberly Kessler trial.
All right, y'all have a great rest of your day, everybody.